From the Civic Center in downtown St. Paul, WCCO Television Sports presents Hockey 84, the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
In our first evening game last night, Kennedy defeated a tough Lake South competitor, Burnsville, while in the following game, Johnson knocked off defending champion Hill Murray. Our semifinal game tonight pits Bloomington Kennedy versus St. Paul Johnson. And welcome back to the St. Paul Civic Center. It's semifinal time. It's St. Paul Johnson against Bloomington Kennedy. Bloomington Kennedy, a team that gets no respect. They lost 8 games in the Lake South. They were not supposed to win coming out of Section 5. They weren't even supposed to get into the state tournament. Now they're just 1 game away from being in the state title game. Meanwhile, St. Paul Johnson with that upset win over Hill Murray last night.
A big and exciting 3-2 win. Of course, they were that just a powerhouse of a lineup. They have Dewey Wallen, 50 goals plus. Jim Howe, 35 goals plus. They can put the puck in the net.
Rod Magnuson is the coach of St. Paul Johnson. He has a lot of great one-liners. His motto says, his team motto, if we have an opening, take it. If you don't, take it anyway. That's the way they like to approach their hockey, wide open.
And so we'll have that game for you in just a moment. It's hockey time once again in the championship round. St. Paul Johnson against Bloomington Kennedy. So stand by. This is continuing coverage of Hockey 84, the high school tournament of Minnesota.
Well, guys, I think the interesting storyline of tonight's game is the goaltending situation. Last night we watched Tim DeRose do everything right. He stopped Hill Murray from advancing, yet DeRose is not going to play tonight, Lou.
That's right, and that leaves the coach open for some second guessing. But he said previous to the game starting last night, he had alternated goaltenders all year long. He felt they were equal. He felt that he could come back in either game with each of them and not worry about it. And so he's going through with what he's done all season long. And so a surprise starter in the nets tonight.
Lou, though, I think you got to respect him for staying with that decision.
Well, he knows the team better than anybody else. He's coached them all season long. He knows the goaltenders. And if you look at the record, DeRose did have a .3 better goals against average. Both the records were 9-1. And when you start getting 2.2 and 1.9, you really don't know who's better because it could differentiate as to which team they played. DeRose might have played a couple of easier games somewhere along the line that made the .3 difference. We don't know. All we know is DeRose was sensational last night. And coming back with Dembowski tonight shows a great deal of courage for the coach, but it also a knowledge of what his team can do and what each goalie can do.
We're ready for the opening face-off, which will be coming up here momentarily. But right now, let's go down and pick up the starting lineups.
First, let's meet the starting lineup for the champions of Section 4, the St. Paul Johnson Governors. Starting in goal, number 35, Dave Dembowski. At defense, number 3, Todd Bardison. And number 7, Rick Larson. At center, number 10, Jim Howe. At wing, number 8, Bill Fish. At number 18, Tom Fox. Coaching the Governors, Rod Magnuson. And now here's the starting lineup for the champions of Section 5, the Bloomington Kennedy Eagles. Starting in goal for Kennedy, number 1, Bruce Wilson. At defense, number 12, Jeff Winandy. And number 18, Bud Bergloff. At center, number 4, Dan Tuzno. At wing, number 10, Dallas Miller. And number 13, John Reuter. Coaching the Eagles, Jerry Peterson. Your officials for this game are John Bymark and Mike Talk. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand and join in singing as the Kennedy High School Band, under the direction of Steve Olson, leads us in the Star-Spangled Banner. As far as the viewers are concerned, what should they be looking for key matchups in this hockey game?
Well, before we go to team matchups, Paul, I've got to point out the visual and animated type of fan that St. Paul Johnson's got. They all put bags over their heads when they were announcing the Bloomington Kennedy lineup. They're a very vocal group. Besides, you'll hear from them all night long. St. Paul Johnson's got the explosiveness up front. Very, very good scoring, especially with Wallen 50 goals, Howe 35. We know they've got those two in Leibel, who had 26 goals during the year and can really shoot the puck. Kennedy's got the big line of Tousignant, Miller, and Reuter. That's the line that Johnson's got to stop. That's the line that they will be really pointing to. But I think Johnson will try to put continual pressure on Kennedy's defense, because they had some problem last night for the first part of the game getting out of their own zone. Johnson's defense is somewhat more mobile, and he moved the puck a little quicker, especially Larson, Rick Larson, number 7, who's a small man but very, very agile on his feet. Each goaltender is very solid, as they've had good records throughout the season. So I would have to say it's going to have to be this line of Bloomington trying to dominate. Otherwise, you're going to have a tough night against St. Paul Johnson's balance.
First time in the semifinals for one team, and for the other team, the 14th time. And the face-off of the draw goes back. And setting it up is Bartison. Around over to Larson. Back over to Bartison on the far wing, as trying to work it out of his zone and moving it up ice. It's St. Paul Johnson. The Governors playing it in over the blue line and going back. And it's played off to the far side. Bergloff over to stick handle with the puck. Tried to fire it out of the zone. And coming over to try and hold it in was Howe. At 2 big goals last night. And it comes all the way back. And Bartison over to pick it up. And Bartison to center ice, and the pass ahead to Fish. And he's upended by Wanandi at the blue line. And it's loose now. Sliding it over the blue line is Fish, but it's cleared by Wanandi. Fish and Wanandi go after the puck on the far wing down to the corner. Picked up by Howe. And the puck is loose, and it's set up. There's a shot. Knocked down right out in front. And down goes Wilson, the goaltender. And it's backhanded out of the zone as it comes off the stick of Miller.
One thing you could look for on that St. Paul Johnson is watch Jim Howe, number 10. A very underrated player, but an excellent one.
And there is no score. This is Hockey 84 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Banks just love to give away toasters. But if you're reinvesting certificate money this month, TCF thinks you deserve more. Like RCA TVs, Panasonic stereo tape recorders, Olivetti typewriters, and more. 20 big gifts. Your choice, free with a qualifying deposit in a 30-month certificate. TCF 30-month certificates. High guaranteed rates, and more than just a toaster.
And we're ready for the face-off to come up to the left side of Wilson. Back into Kennedy's zone. The Eagles and the Governors are scoreless. Off the draw, a shot is taken. Back to the point, and Berthiaume plays it on the wing over to Wallen down to the corner. Angling it around the boards over to Berthiaume. Working the wing, but it's cleared out by Kennedy. And coming back, the Governors to regroup and set it up. And it's played ahead by Gaylor on the pass, trying to go to Berthiaume. And it's held in by Lehman, taken back by Wallen, and then fired toward the net. And it is Dembowski in goal tonight for the St. Paul Governors. And Berthiaume working it up ice on the pass. Intended for Dewey Wallen. Whistle and play will be stopped at the blue line of Kennedy.
We were talking about Jim Howell from Johnson. He wears number 10. He got 2 goals last night. But throughout the game, and if you saw him even on that first shift, he's a very clever player. He anticipates extremely well. When Kennedy went back to get the puck, and as the forecheck was being applied, he just anticipated where that puck was going, went right over to the boards, and puck come right to him. He knows how to play this game. He's a very dangerous man, and he's going to have to be watched because everybody knows about Wallen, the way he can shoot the puck, but Howell makes things happen out there in that second line.
That was Rod Magnuson looking on, the coach of the Governors. And the draw is set up, and it's controlled by Harvey. Wristing it down as Wilson knocking it down to behind the net. Wanambi with the puck as he tried to bring it out, holding it in. It was Schurmack, and it comes back down the near boards. All the way back goes Dembowski behind his own net. No score in the hockey game. We're just underway. Only 2 minutes into a scoreless first period. As Wallach has the puck on the lead up ice, and it's chased down to the corner as Harvey goes in. He tried to center it, cleared by Kennedy out of their own zone. The Eagles are 15-8-1 of the year. The Governors are 23-3. Dembowski leaving it set behind his own net now as forechecking here. Kennedy trying to come up with the puck, but the Governors regroup in their own zone, and that is Petrus ahead on the pass. Over to Harvey. Harvey with the puck, and he plays it in over the blue line, and striding back is Andrews. Andrews now back in his own zone, working it up ice. Andrews on the lead. We have not had a penalty called in this game, nor have we had any scoring. And it's played back right in on Wilson, the junior goaltender, who made the easy save there and set it up. As Kennedy comes out of their own zone to center ice, broken up by Larson. Larson's pass cross ice to Howe, right side. This is Fish, and a hook checked away nicely by Dallas Miller. And now it's Kennedy coming out of their own zone to move it up ice. Here's Bruder firing it in, and it's just wide. Larson clearing to the corner. Held it at the point, and it's rolled around the boards, and it's set up right out in front. And it comes to their wing to Schottieker, who played it deep in the zone. Larson trying to work it loose. As Kennedy holding it in on the near boards. With it is Miller. Miller off to Cousineau, and a shot, and it went in. As Miller fired the shot, and it went off the pads of Dembowski. And Miller gets his 15th goal of the year and second of the tournament. And Bloomington Kennedy leads it 1-0.
Well, Dan Cousineau doing some strong forechecking, comes up with the puck right here. He backhands the pass to Miller. Watch that. Miller gets a release away very quickly, and it deflects in off of St. Paul Johnson Gubby's skate and goes right by Dembowski. You see right here Miller at the lower part of your screen shooting the puck right there. It was deflected, and Dembowski just moving to his left got pulled momentarily after that fine feed by Cousineau. Just enough to move that puck into the short side, and then Kennedy comes up with a 1-0 lead early in this game after some strong forechecking by Cousineau and a quick shot deflection by Miller, putting Kennedy up 1-0.
And now going back over to set it up. 11:22 remaining in the first period. Schottieker with a puck behind his own net, tried to rim the board, and it's set up now. The Governors trying to hold it in as Kennedy has taken a 1-0 lead here. Miller with it, moving it back in over the blue line and back, setting it up now. That is Miller just outside the line. His drive at the net is wide, and it hopped right out in front, and it's cleared. Trying to move it up ice now. The puck is controlled. Berthiaume off on the far side with Gaylor, and coming over to help out is Olander. And his pass ahead, Olander got the winning goal for St. Paul and the Governor fans in their quarterfinal game. Whistle and play will be stopped. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Well, the Gubbies trailing 1-0. A lot of time left, but that has to unnerve them somewhat. They came out here, the favorite team. Bloomington Kennedy coming up with that first goal.
Petrus playing it in over the line. That's broken up by Winandy. And he risks it on the near boards as the Governors go back, regrouping. And it's played now toward the slot, cleared by Harvey, who wears number 22. Harvey moving it up ice for St. Paul Johnson. In over the blue line. The pass is cleared by Winandy on the far boards. And holding it in, the Governors set it up, trying to go to the high slot. And it's cleared by the Eagles on the near wing. Trying to bring it out of the zone. It was Keister, and he managed to play it back to the blue line of the Governors. 1-0 to score. St. Paul Johnson out in front. And Winandy in over the line, and the shot went right into the body and the pads of Dembowski.
Winandy getting the opportunity to carry the puck right up the ice and right into St. Paul Johnson's zone as the defenseman sagging a little too deeply allowed him to come up the ice right to the top of the circle and fire that puck. They had plenty of opportunity to move up to that blue line and shut them down from coming up there, but they elected just to stay back, and that's going to create some good shooting opportunities for Kennedy if the Gubby defensemen continue to do that.
Kennedy leading at 1-0 over St. Paul Johnson, and the goal was scored by Miller. And the face-off, and it's set up now. Stick handling with the puck just inside, and a shot fired. Went back into behind the net, going around over Larson. Larson goes down, and there is Barr. And trying to break it out of the zone of the pass ahead. That is Boxmeyer coming right wing. And it's played away, back out to center ice now. And Larson trying to go cross ice on the pass, picked up by Boxmeyer. And Boxmeyer will go back in his own zone, regrouping to Bartison. 1-0. Kennedy out in front here as Miller got his 15th goal of the year and the second of the tournament. Larson behind his own net. Larson trying to wrist it clear, and Kennedy holding it in. A backhander is knocked down, and the rebound is played in the corner as the Governors go back, and whistle and play will be stopped here with 9:10 remaining in the period.
You might have noticed that on that line shift there was Boxmeyer out there, and he was out there with Wallen. Coach Magnuson doing a little line juggling, maybe to unsettle Bloomington somewhat or get a certain line against Tousignaux's line. He probably wants to play Howe against Tousignaux all night long, and if he's got to, at the same time, make sure he's getting the scoring punch out there, so he might double shift Wallen.
And we have the face-off coming up. Tousignaux in the face-off circle trying to draw it forward. And the puck goes down along the far boards. Going over trying to pick it up now. Bloomington Kennedy trying to hold the attacking zone. Bloomington Kennedy with 8:58 remaining as Dembowski takes a look. And we've got a penalty call here, Lou.
Coming up to Reuter.
And it's moved up ice. Whistle and play will be stopped. And a penalty, our first of the game. With the score 1-0, this is Hockey 84 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
We see John Reuter sitting in the penalty box right now, serving a hooking penalty that he received behind the net. We see him as he tried to center the puck, lost it momentarily, and after he did that, he made just enough of a hook on Fish right in front of the referee to get called for a penalty. Johnson on the power play with the opportunity to tie this game.
And the Governors are 1 of 6 so far here in this tournament on the power play. And it's set up now, and it's played back down in the corner. And we have 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining, and it hopped up over the glass and out of play.
The Gubbies didn't look too sharp on the power play last night. Of all the factors of their game that you would think they might be good because they've got such great shooters, the power play last night was not that good. They didn't move it around quick enough, and they weren't getting enough good shots away.
And it's played back in over the blue line. That is Tousignaux. Tousignaux finally had to take it away, and back up ice come the Governors. In over the line with it is Larson trying to move it as he had a man Fish in the slot, but it was cleared out of the zone. And we're down now, Lou, to 1:30 remaining on a man advantage.
Well, quick and sharp passing on this power play would be much more advantageous for Johnson.
Here's Larson carrying it in over the line, and it's cleared away by Miller back to the blue line of the Governors. That is Harvey with the puck. Harvey now in over the line. That goes to Howe. Howe with a shot. Oh, it hit the pipe and popped out. And the rebound goes to Miller. Harvey working the wing along with Miller. And it's Miller backhanding it out of the zone. He's done a nice job in this penalty situation.
Well, Johnson not getting control of that puck. They're getting in for the one shot and not really putting any pressure on Bloomington's defensemen or forwards that have control of the puck. They're allowing Bloomington just to fire it out.
That is Zolander, right side. Leibel shot kicked out by Wilson. Nice save, and the rebound goes to Barr. Yeah, Barr found an opening, tried to play it up ice, and it's cleared in front of the net to Gaylor as the Governors work it back out, and they still have 34 seconds remaining on the power play situation. And it's driven back by Wanandi in the St. Paul Johnson zone. Governors leading it 1-0. Move it up ice. Here's Olander. Olander to the blue line. Tried to go off to Dewey Wallen. And it's played away again and cleared out of the zone. Good job by Bergloff. And St. Paul Johnson goes back, and that is Berthium to set it up. Berthium wristing it out of the far side. It's broken up. And it's played in over the blue line of the Governors, and in 3 seconds it's going to be full strength. As coming out of the penalty box is Reuter, and it's a full strength situation. That is Gaylor. Gaylor with a puck to the blue line, played in over the line by Shermack. Down to the corner goes Bertloff, and he angles it around the boards, held it at the point. There's a shot fired by Gaylor, and it's cleared. A potential break. This is Lehman moving in, shot, and it was picked off by Dembowski. In behind the net as the Governors set it up to bring it out of their own zone. And a big save there, Lou.
It certainly was. Lehman breaking away all alone after a fine pass by Bergloff was beaten by Dembowski. Otherwise, Kennedy could have been up by 2.
It is 1-0 on the goal, which was scored by Miller, his 15th of the year. That is Shermack with a puck in the lead to Dewey Wallen, trying to set something up at center ice. It's turned and played back down in the corner, back in the St. Paul Johnson zone. Quickly, Petrus trying to bang it out of the zone. Held in, and it was centered, trying to go to the slot. Hit a shot to goal.
A fine play right there as Kennedy takes a 2-0 lead off Keister's goal. He takes that pass from the blue line, spins around in front of the net, and Keister left all alone, able to beat Dembowski to put Kennedy up 2-0. You see the play, Bergloff right there firing the puck in. It's deflected ahead as it is by Tuzino right over to Keister. You see Keister 15 just getting knocked down after he put that puck by Dembowski. That's Keister 15 spinning around, getting it up, and by Dembowski as he puts Kennedy up 2-0 in this first period.
And I think a few people would be surprised, Lou. I'm sure not the Kennedy fans, but a lot of the press people thought St. Paul Johnson here would maybe be able to handle this game pretty easily.
Well, Johnson certainly was the favorite coming in. And there's a big goal by Tuzino.
Tuzino's 26th goal of the year, and it is 3-0.
Tuzino winning that draw, coming away with that puck right around the blue line area, let fly with a slap shot. And Kennedy, which is all season long, come back. Look at Tuzino, let fly with the slap shot at the blue line. Just partially screened up high over Dembowski's glove.
6 seconds later.
And Kennedy, with their explosiveness right there, scoring 2 quick goals.
And I bet that'll send some people to the record books, Lou, to look up on the 2 quick goals, 6 seconds apart.
Well, I don't think it'll send anybody from Johnson to the record books because you're not concerned about how fast they're scoring them, just that they're scoring them. You got to worry about getting some back yourself.
And it's 3-0 now. And it's set up on the far side, and Reuter playing it back in over the blue line. And the Kennedy Eagles are 15-8-1 of the year, and they're down here 3-0. There's a shot taken from the point by Andrews, pushed in the corner. Tuzino over to try and pick it up. And whistle and play will be stopped here. And there's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. Face-off coming up to the left side of Dembowski. It off the draw. Shot is made right out in front. And moving it up ice, clearing it. Here's Dewey Wallen coming in over the blue line. Dewey with a shot, and the save is made. The rebound is cleared to the corner. Schonecker cleared it on the wing, and now the Eagles move it back up ice. Bloomington Kennedy leading here by a score of 3-0. And striding back is Schonecker over to pick it up, wristing it out over to center ice. Intended for Keister, taken away by Gaylor. And over the line, and turning it around now, the Eagles back the other way, driven in the zone. And going back, Dembowski steering it off to the near side. And 3-0 score with 4:42 remaining. That is Barr working the wing. taken away and played up ice. Here's Olander. Olander on the pass. Olander taking a look at a shot there, and it was off the stick of Fox, and it comes back out of the zone.
Great concentration there by goaltender Wilson. You saw him just worry about the puck. He wasn't concerned at all about Wallen breaking towards the net as Olander was shooting it.
Howe trying to work it to the slot, but it's cleared. Out over to center ice and knocking it down. 4:15 remaining here in the first period in a 3-0 game.
By the way, they credit Tousignant with that second goal, and I don't know how they can give it to him. Keister fired the puck. Tousignant directed it over to him. But Tousignant's been in on all 3 goals, that's for sure.
And it's played back in behind the net, and coming on the near side on the breakout pass. Setting it up, that is Fish going cross ice to Howe. And working the left wing is Fox. Moves it on the net. Knocked down in the slot area. Coming back over to try and pick it up. And a shot fired there by Petrus, deflected to center ice.
Great play by Dave Barr, getting that puck out of the zone, too.
Yeah, it's set up at center ice now, and controlling it is Fish. Fish trying to go to Fox. 3-0 to score here. Whistle, and we've got a penalty coming up. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
John Reuter serving his second penalty of the period. The first one was for hooking. This one's going to be for tripping right there. And so the Gubbies, who had an ineffective power play the first time, get an opportunity to close the gap, trailing by 3.
And it's played by Tousignant down in the corner. And we will check at the end of the period to see if that will stand. Tousignant getting those 2 goals 6 seconds apart. Played up ice by Olander. Olander is cut off at the blue line, and now that it's played back down to the corner on the left side. When Nandy and Bertloff as a pair defensively, but right now they have a penalty killing unit out. They have a man short situation here for the next 1 minute 32 seconds.
Well, the Gubbies not making the good short crisp pass, not coming up as a unit. The only times they had any shots on the last power play, they came in 1 man alone, took a shot, never in position for a rebound for any of his teammates. Right away, Bloomington Kennedy got control of the puck, fired it down. They had 3 shots in that last power play, none of them dangerous. Howe did beat the goalie on one from far out, but it hit the pipe. But they've got to move that puck a lot sharper and gain control of the zone as a unit.
With it is Gaylor passing it cross ice, set up now. 1:20 remaining under penalty time. Gaylor with it, trying to advance it. And it's knocked down, picked up, get over the line. Howe and Harvey on his right side, back to the point. Gaylor with a shot, and the save is made by Wilson.
Well, Gaylor just keeping that puck in. He's a sophomore defenseman. Very strong game last night for the Gubbies. He's a big fella. He looks like he's got a fine future in hockey and a good head on his shoulders. They're playing him on the point in the power play already, even though he is a sophomore. He knows what to do with that puck. He just gets it on the net when he's pressured, hoping to get a rebound, hoping someone's going to break for the net and tip it in.
And Howe in the face-off circle. As it comes up to the left side of Wilson, there's a change coming down. As skating off was Dave Barr, and we'll have a replacement there to try and win the face-off.
And the coach, Jerry Peterson, changing the men slowly, trying to give his people some rest. He's changing them one at a time. Just when it looks like they're set, he sends another man out.
And Howe goes off to Harvey on the pass. Harvey down at the corner, trying to hold his zone, but it's cleared out. And now we have 1 minute remaining on the penalty time to Reuter, who has gone into the box for his second time in this hockey game. It's a 3-0 score as Kennedy is out in front here. And it's moved up ice. Here is Berthiaume, and he angles it cross ice to the far wing, broken up by Bertloff. And he clears it from his own zone. 40 seconds remaining now on the penalty time. Berthiaume back to Harvey. Harvey intended the lead for Howe. Chasing it down is Fish in the corner. And Bertloff and Fish go after the puck. And Bertloff wins the battle, but loses the puck to Harvey behind the net. Harvey and Bertloff going over when Nandy is right there. And when Nandy clears it out of the zone.
That little sequence behind the net has just been evident of what Johnson's been doing all night long. 2 players looking at the puck, each of them hesitant about getting it. Johnson not playing with the kind of fire they did last night, not having the same kind of jump. Something that Bloomington is doing is causing that, of course. Bloomington playing with a great deal of fire and enthusiasm and really rushing the play, making them make bad passes, but at the same time the hesitancy of Johnson almost looking like they weren't up for this game before the game started. someone said before the game the coach was worried that they were looking towards tomorrow night. Well, they've got to get by a strong Kennedy team if they want to get to tomorrow night. And right now they're not playing with the kind of fire that's going to get them there.
And out is Leibel, Olander, and Wallen now. And back is Wenandy around the boards, firing it out, trying to get some help, breaking it up ice. That is Duckworth playing it down to the corner. And back out is Reuter, and both teams are at full strength.
Johnson, we were talking about last night, has a great history of turning out fine hockey players. One of them we forgot to mention, by the way, teammate of mine, Craig Falkman, an All-American at the University of Minnesota, an Olympic player later, and a professional player with the Minnesota Fighting Saints. And when I was talking about it, I referred to my good friend Wendy Anderson, the former governor, as Wendy Johnson, being from Johnson. I'm sure he's heard about that. So I give him my apologies.
52 players have gone on to play college hockey from St. Paul Johnson. And off the face-off, it's cleared out to center ice. Bartishit with it. Bartishit on the pass, and coming back over to help out is Larson. Larson on the lead. That's probably the only mistake you made this weekend, Lou. It's played down to the corner.
Thank you, but I'm sure I made many more than that.
Edis around to the far side, going over to help out. Schoenecker with it, tried to move it out of the zone. 1:05 remaining in the first period. It's 3-0 the score. If you're just joining us, you may be a little bit surprised. I'll bet you the Kennedy fans and the players aren't surprised with the score, Lou.
No, they've seen this club all year long battle back, and they've certainly done that this year.
And Larson trying to get some help to bring it out of the zone. And we're down to 44 seconds remaining here in the period. And it's a 3-0 score. This is Dewey Wallen, the guy that led the city in scoring. There's a reason why. Shot in the goal by Dewey Wallen, his 53rd goal of the year.
Well, Paul, that's putting it perfectly. There's the reason why. He's got great hands. He gets around the net. He's ever so dangerous. And Wallen cuts the deficit with a fine move right here on Schoenecker, going outside, back inside, which is a tough move. The toughest move for a hockey player is to his forehand, yet he's able to make it. And he gets Wilson striding out. He actually didn't get much on the puck, but because Wilson was striding out, he was able to put it through his legs. You see the good forehand move by Wallen. Wilson almost looking for a harder shot, but the puck got just slowed down a bit, I think, by Schonecker's last effort right there. Taking a little off Wallen's shot, but it still was able to go through Wilson's legs. The Gubbies trailing 3-1 as they score with a half minute to go.
And that's a big goal from that standpoint, is it not?
It certainly is.
As now Kennedy chasing it down, Reuter in the corner, and whistle and play will be stopped because now the momentum changes a little bit as you go into the locker room. And a couple of assists have been given on that goal. One to Leibel, which would give him unofficially at this time his first of the night, 27th of the year, and also to number 11, that's Olander. So we have 23 seconds remaining in the period now as we have a 3-1 game here, and whistle and play will be stopped again.
Well, Bergloff putting that puck right back deep into the Gubby zone was just a little too quick. 2-0 not getting out of the area, an offside call. But Kennedy, going into this period, would have said very gladly, we will take a 3-1 lead if we can get out of the first period with that. So they can't be too down, leading 3-1 at this point, still having 15 seconds to go.
And it's played back now, coming over trying to pick it up, and it's knocked down along the boards on the near side. And coming back is Larson. Larson with it, out of the lead, trying to go to Wallen, and it's played back into the blue line of the far boards, coming back on the near wing, and whistle and play will be stopped because the first period is over. And at the end of that period of play, Lou, it's a 3-1 game.
Well, it certainly is, and the Eagles of Kennedy leading 3-1, surprising many people, but I'm certain not their coach or their fans or themselves. They were able all season long to keep getting better and coming back, and as we said last night, they came along a tough trail at the end. They upset a few teams. They got in here, and they weren't content just to get to the tournament. They want to advance. They advanced last night, and they're playing tonight like they want to advance to the finals. The Gubbies, on the other hand, a little shook up after that first goal. They come out, they put on some pressure on Kennedy, but the Gubbies gave up that first goal. That seemed to unnerve them somewhat. They fell behind 3-0, finally coming back with a fine goal by Wallen, cutting the lead to 3-1.
And we'll go downstairs now to Sports Control.
All right, Paul and Louie, this has to be the surprise of the tournament. Kennedy coming in here with 8 losses. Now it's 3-1, and of course the big lift could be the Dewey Wallen goal at the end of the period.
Johnson came out rather sluggish. I think there's a good reason for that. They left a lot of emotion on the ice in that victory over Hill Murray last night, but I think that Wallen goal will give them that inspiration to come out even stronger for the second period. Let's turn it now to Tom Hanneman and his special guest. Tommy?
I am here with the man who really is legendary in these parts, Luca Tronio, who was a coach of St. Paul Johnson for 10 years and took the Gubbies to states on 7 occasions. What do you think of tonight's game so far? Big goal at the end there, huh?
It sure was, Tom. That's the one they needed. It's much easier to come out for the second period than being down 2 when you're only playing 15-minute periods. And I'd like to say at the offset about this club, I've come to know these kids quite well and quite intimately over the years. And a lot of things have been said about their height and about their weight. That's really only important in the doctor's office. What's really important, what's behind that left pocket, and those kids all got a lot of heart, and I'm not selling them short.
Let's talk a little bit about you. You are now a referee, and let's background a bit, too, because, Lou, you underwent open heart surgery a few years back and got back to the game. What has kept you going? What has motivated you over those years?
Well, I think, Tom, basically, hockey's been good to me, and I'd like to give something back to hockey, and I had my fill of coaching, so to speak, and I'd like to stay as close to it, and that would be by refereeing. I enjoy that part of it.
Lou, thank you so much. Wish we had more time. Let's send it back to Sports Control.
Quite a guy, Lou Catronio, the former coach of this team that's in action here tonight from St. Paul Johnson.
Classy man, Louis. This is Hockey 84, continuing coverage of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. Kennedy coach Jerry Peterson has said of Danny Tousineau, his junior center, he is one of the smartest players I have ever coached. He always seems to be on the ice, Ralph.
Well, he was involved in all 3 goals for Kennedy, Mark. Number 10, Dallas Miller, got the goal here to make it 1-0, but Dan Tousineau, just a beautiful pass, the behind-the-back pass to set this one up and make it 1-0. And I think we're going to have to put a stopwatch on Tousineau to see how much he's on the ice. He's always out there and quite a playmaker. Tousineau, number 4, is only a junior. There's the goal. Dallas Miller making it 1-0 Kennedy.
Tousineau was given credit for this second goal, but I believe it will be changed to Jeff Keister, and you'll see why here. Tousineau took the shot, but Keister was the last one to get his stick on it, beating goalie Derek.
Well, you know who was involved in that one, too. Of course, it was Tousineau.
And just 6 seconds later, Tousineau did get the goal. This will go off Dombrowski's glove here.
Number 4, Dan Tousineau from the blue line, and this one made it 3-0. Much to the delight of the Kennedy fans and much to the surprise of the St. Paul Johnson Governors, because the Governors came in here the heavy favorite. Tousineau getting the goal, making it 3-0.
Rod Magnuson has said this is a team that doesn't bother them to fall 2 or 3 goals behind.
Pretty goal by Dewey Wallen here, cut the lead and gave Johnson some momentum. He's really been relatively unheard of for having 50-plus goals, Mark.
It was just a matter of time before Wallen exploded. This was not a hard shot, as you see here, but on a great move. I think Louis Nanny described it best. Tough move to make. Didn't have much on the shot, but it was enough to get in the goal, and that was the key goal because it gives Johnson momentum coming back in the second period. Dewey Wallen, he has now, what, 51 goals this year?
Just got through the pipe. I'm not sure, 52, 53, whatever. You lose track after a while, but nonetheless, a beautiful goal, and it's 3-1 as Johnson trails now Kennedy after the first period. And this is continuing coverage of the 1984 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
If it weren't for the fans, obviously hockey wouldn't nearly be as exciting, especially at state tournament time when fan involvement and support is at a premium. But we captured a little bit of that unharnessed energy during yesterday's games and tried to figure out what's in a cheer.
Throughout every game at the tournament, there's a noticeable dull roar. The correct term for it is cheering, and you can find many individual renditions of it here. First, there's the organized sanctioned cheer. It tends to be on the wholesome side, but provides adequate support and energy for the team. Then there's the cheer that comes straight from the heart. Sometimes it's even referred to as yelling, but it's always filled with emotion. Perhaps the most creative type of cheer is the free form. Whatever inspires the fan is acceptable, at least to the perpetrator. This type of cheer is sometimes confused with the term acting goofy. And finally, there's the kind of cheer that can never be duplicated. It's the one that comes at the end of a victorious game. It's a cheer of total joy with a little relief thrown in.
Well, can you believe that kind of cheering? Actually, speaking of cheering, Eva Cucciarella, a freshman cheerleader from St. Paul Johnson, is unable to be here at the St. Paul Civic Center tonight because she was injured in an auto accident last month and is laid up at United Children's Hospital. But even though she can't be here, it doesn't mean her heart is not in it. We spoke with her just a few minutes before game time tonight, and she has a special message for her friends here at the tournament.
I just want to say, Johnson, hockey team, hockey players, and all the fans out there at the Civic Center, I want to wish you luck. And I know that Johnson's going to take state this year. Aloha, Johnson, #1.
Eva Cucciarella, we wish her the best, certainly. Well, scoring goals is the name of the game when it comes to hockey, and one player from the 1954 tournament knew all too well that when it was he had to do to win a game.
Hearts made of stone.
Those who remember the 1954 state high school hockey tournament may well remember the name of St. Paul Harding captain Dick Jinks. Although the Harding Knights placed third in the tournament, Dick Jinks made a name for himself as being one of the standout performers in tournament history. Jinks scored the only goal in the 1954 consolation championship, giving St. Paul Harding a 1-0 victory over Minneapolis South. That goal not only won Harding a third-place trophy, it was also Jinks' 8th goal of the tournament and the 8th goal for the Harding team as well.
When you get out there, your job is to go out there and try and beat the other team, and we did a lot of shooting, and I just happened to, be in the right place at the right time, and the puck came my way, and I was able to finish it and put it in the net.
Jinks had scored every goal for the consolation winner, a still unrivaled feat. This is Hockey 84, continuing coverage of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. Well, St. Paul Johnson coach Rod Magnuson received a special telegram, Lou, right before this game from an old Johnson alum. Congratulations on your first win. Good luck tonight. Go for it. Signed, Herb Brooks.
Well, that's okay. Bobby Bergloff called me and told me to wish Kennedy good luck. He's from Kennedy. I'll tell Herbie that.
Herb said thanks for beating him the other night, too, Louis.
Well, we really enjoyed that. I had to tell him that. I saw him later. We had lunch, and I was very, very pleased about that.
Lou, I guess as far as the benefit of the replay is concerned, we have the benefit of that replay, but they are going to give Tousineau the goals, the 2 goals in 6 seconds, and that would break the old record. The goals in 6 seconds broke the old record of 2 in 7 set by Wally Grant of Eveleth in the first tournament back in 1945.
Well, if Keister claims a goal, then they'll break the old record of 2 goals in less than 30 seconds that was scored also by 2 different players. So one way or the other, they're going to break a record with the 2 goals being scored in 6 seconds. But Keister might claim it, might not. It took him a day to change a goal. Ferrara, 2 nights ago, we said when Ferrara scored, the official scorer gave it to Malner, but we knew it was Ferrara, and they changed it today.
So we're ready to go for the second period. And right now, Bloomington Kennedy is leading here 3-1.
I guess that's a benefit of the instant replay, Paul. And that's why they're even talking about using it in playoff hockey, in the NHL, because it could cost games. When a goal is not in the net and they call a goal, it could cost you an advancement, it could cost you an extra game somewhere along the line. It could cost a great deal of money.
Would you be in favor of using it, Lou?
I would in the playoffs because it means so much if they make the wrong call on the goal. You see why Dan Tousineau is so valuable to this hockey club. He's not only talented, he's on the ice over half the time. He's almost there half the time this period, and had they had a couple power plays, he'd have been on there too. He's extremely talented, very quick, extraordinary hockey player. He's only 11th grader. You know, he's a youngster. He's a small man right now, but you know, 5'8", 160, with his kind of balance and his kind of initiative, he's going to go a long way in hockey.
Lou, the follow-up question I was going to ask you on using the instant replay for the benefit of the playoffs in the National Hockey League. Aren't you taking something away from the officials when you do that?
Well, the officials might be taking something away from you if they make the wrong call, and the most important thing is get the right call made.
The score is 3-1. This is Hockey 84 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Well, Dan Tuzano is going to try and lead his team on from here with Bloomington Kennedy winning 3-1. They've got a long way to go yet.
And they are now changing it, I think, to Keister. And it goes behind the net on the far side. And it's held in as St. Paul Johnson now down by a couple of goals. Into moving it up ice, coming in over the blue line. Tuzano on the far wing, knocking it down, so that old record may wind up standing yet. But more important is the hockey game right now. And Reuter with a shot deflected. It comes all the way out of the zone, back out to center ice. Andy with it. Andy now looking for the outlet on the pass, moves it to center ice, and it's flipped in over the blue line. As going back is Larson to pick it up. Larson working with Bartison on defense. And we show 14-16 remaining here in the second period as Kennedy tries to hold the zone. That is Lehman with a shot, and the save is made by Dembowski.
And that almost handcuffed Dembowski. He seemed to be moving forward as the puck was coming, and then just seemed to juggle it a little bit. But Lehman doing some very strong forechecking. That's what Kennedy's got to do. They got to continue their forechecking because that's their biggest strength.
And we'll have the face-off coming up at the draw. It was Lehman trying to draw it forward along the wing, and Youngsworth along with Lehman and Keister out. Keister with it around on the wing, setting it up, and the pass to the point comes all the way out of the zone. There's Leibel skating down along with Bergloff, and Bergloff gets there first. Bergloff working the wing, back to the point, and it's held in. A shot fired there, deflected on the near boards, and coming over to try and help out is Youngsworth. Youngworth with the puck off on the pass. And moving it up ice, that is Schonecker. And over the line, right side, it's Keister taking a look as he had Youngworth from the left to the right, but he couldn't get him the puck as we had play stopped.
Well, Lehman, Youngworth, and Keister do a great deal of forechecking. They should get more goals. They really work very, very hard. They're a strong line for Kennedy. He creates some opportunities. They just got to be a little sharper and a little quicker pulling the trigger. But they do get chances time and time again.
And Shermack out now. They have both teams at full strength. He centers the line with Harvey and Converse. That is set up now off of the far wing. Petrus with the puck out over the center ice, intended for Shermack. Shermack chasing it down to the corner. And Shermack going after the puck, back in behind over to Barr. Barr with it now, looking for the outlet, and he lifts it up ice. And skating back is Barrett, and we'll have an icing called. With 13:10 remaining here, Kennedy has appeared in 4 state tournaments, and their previous appearances were made in 66, 76, and of course at 83. And as we mentioned earlier, 52 players have gone on to play college hockey from Kennedy.
One player I'd like you to take a look at is Steve Beersdorf for Kennedy, number 6. He's not a big man, but boy does he hit. He threw 2 of the hardest checks this tournament seen yesterday. And in the forecheck in the first shift he had out there tonight, he took a Gubby defenseman in very, very heavily.
He's listed at 5'7". Coming in over the line, Beersdorf shot it, and he just pushed it wide. And it comes along the boards on the near side now, trying to hold the zone. And we have a 3-1 game. Holding the zone is Beersdorf, playing it down to the corner. And going back to St. Paul Governors now. There's another check. Lou is pointing out by Beersdorf. And moving it up ice, that is Barrett to the blue line of Bloomington Kennedy. Played away there by Wenandy. And it went up over the plexiglass and out of play.
Many times people wonder how small men can hit so hard. A great deal's got to do with leverage, their balance, and its timing. You see a baseball player, a small man, hit a baseball 450 feet, and you wonder how he can do it. Or a golfer like Chichi Rodriguez drive it so far. It's all in timing. Same thing in shooting the puck. Yvonne Cornwright, not one of the biggest men, but sure one of the best shooters the game's ever seen.
As we have a 3-1 game now with 12:24 remaining. in the second period. Coming in over the line, and Howe tried to slide it ahead. That is Fox on the wing, losing control of the puck. Up ice, this is Reuter. And Reuter getting some help. Get over the line. That's Tousineau working his way toward the net, but it's cleared by St. Paul Johnson. Ahead to Larson to the blue line. Just outside the line now. Whistle and play will be stopped as Howe had to wait for his line mate to get out of the zone.
Well, Howe was trying to wait till his line mate got out of the zone, but as Fish was trying to get out, he ran right into the referee in the far side. The referee was just a foot inside the line. Fish couldn't get out, and Howe eventually went offside.
Nice crowd on hand here again tonight at the St. Paul Civic Center. The winner of this one goes up against Edina tomorrow night for the championship in the 40th annual high school tournament in the state of Minnesota. But now going back, Bloomington Kennedy on the breakout from their own zone. This is Tousineau. Tousineau off in the pass, and they're coming to get over the line. Left side, Tousineau tried to move it in the high slot, but it was deflected back to the point over to Schonecker. Back around to Reuter behind the net. Tousineau snuck in, tried to come up with the loose puck down to Tousineau, and there is Gaylor. Gaylor now working near wing, trying to go to Leibel, but it was held in by Bertloff, who pushed it behind the net. Going over to pick it up is Wallen. Wallen has the goal for St. Paul Johnson. That is played along the far boards, on over to center ice. Reuter intercepts there. Wallen is there as well. Right in front of your screen, Reuter there with the puck in over the blue line. Lehman tried to pick it up. That is played back in over the line the other way. Here's Howe working in. Shot of the goal by Jim Howe. His 37th goal of the year, his third of the tournament, and it's now a 3-2 game.
While Howe coming behind the Bloomington Kennedy defense takes a long pass from Berthiaume. He goes in all alone on Wilson, and as we said, Howe is one dangerous man on the net. He steals that puck, he gets a long pass from Berthiaume behind the defenseman, makes the move to his backhand, and puts it away as the Gubbies close the gap to 1. Kennedy leading 3-2 on a fine goal by Jim Howe, who does it again for the Gubbies.
It's got to be a lonely feeling, Lou, watching a guy come in on you, and there's nobody there to help you out.
Well, it's just you and the shooter, and you got to hope the shooter makes the first move and makes a mistake.
And Barrett with it. Barrett trying to lead it ahead. Knocking it down, played back to the blue line now with 10:57 remaining here in the second period. And going back, that is Enos. Enos working the wing on the far side, trying to get some help from Kiesler. Shot in the goal! Right out in front.
Shermack takes that puck as he's coming from the left side. It was a centering pass. Shermack moving real quickly, didn't even stop him. He just let fly, and the Gubbies come back with 3 goals to tie this game. Explosiveness at this Gubby Hockey Club. You see Shermack, he's not even in your screen though right now. He takes that pass and puts it home down low on Wilson to tie this game. A centering pass out of the corner, and there's Shermack scoring that goal.
And it's tied up now.
Maybe it was Converse, excuse me. I thought it was a 5, or might have been a 9. 19, Converse.
We'll get the official call, and it's a 3-3 game.
That's where the advantage of being a right-hand shot on the left side. You got a better shooting angle. He had that, and he put it away.
It is Converse who will get the goal. Converse gets the goal. That is Bartison with the puck. And Tousineau back in behind the net over to Larson. Larson working the wing, comes back over to Enos. And clearing it, moving it up ice again, coming Bartison to the line over to Howe. And a 3-3 game as St. Paul Johnson fell behind 3-0, and they battled back and tied it here. And coming along the near boards, Enos with it, trying to get help to bring it out. Held in, a shot kicked out as Bartison fired it, moving in toward the net. Larson holding the point on the far side. Tousineau tried to clear the zone. Whistle and play will be stopped.
Well, Coach Magnuson shaking up his lines again, had Boxmeyer out there with Converse and Howe. Boxmeyer centered that puck out of the corner, giving it over to Converse, and he put it away, and the Gubbies, with their great scoring power, bounce right back into this game.
And it is now a 3-3 game with 10:06 remaining. Well, it looked like it might be a runaway early, but St. Paul Johnson, a strong team, 23-3, has battled back. And the lead pass coming up ice it over the blue line to Benfer with it. Benfer tried to get some help from Beersdorf, but it's cleared back out to center ice. And that is Benfer. Benfer to the blue line. He's cut off there. Oh, and a heavy chip throwing. And they try to go to Barr in the slot. We're down to 9:45. Remaining in regulation time in period number 2. And trying to hold the zone. It was Barr, centered him right out in front, but it's cleared on the lead pass as it goes the length of the ice, and we have an icing call. And with the score 3-3, this is Hockey 84 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Miami, the Mets are in my Orlando.
Isn't it funny how often you hear from friends vacationing in warm places when you're stuck in a cold place?
Las Vegas. Now there's an exciting place. Da, 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 da,
Republic Airlines flies to more warm places from Florida to California than any other airline. We have a warm spot for you, too.
Focus on Republic.
Nobody serves our Republic like Republic.
18 seconds apart. We've had 2 goals, and they have been scored by Kennedy. And 6 seconds apart, or rather for Kennedy, and 18 seconds apart for St. Paul Johnson in a 3-3 game here. Got it set up with it is Bergloff. Bergloff playing it in over the blue line, and the puck comes loose, and picking it up is Olander. Here's Olander with the puck to Leibel, coming in over the line. Leibel trying to work around Schottieker on the wing. It's Barr down in the corner with Leibel and Schottieker, and they'll tie it up there, and it will have a face-off coming up.
Well, Johnson certainly has got much more jump this period than he had in the first period. Kennedy getting that first goal in the first period really seemed to demoralize Johnson. They just coasted through the rest of the period. They had 2 power plays, totally ineffective. They come back with a goal. They make it 3-1 this period. They come out here and really responded with an effort very similar to what they did last night against Gilmore.
And we have 9:01 remaining in the second period. And it's angled out of the zone and striding up ice. This is Reuter going in. Reuter picked it off his shot, and we're going to have a penalty called. And there's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
I can look this man square in the eye and say a TCF pass card checking account is the most useful checking account in town. Because I cannot tell a lie either.
Well, Reuter had a breakaway and a long pass off the face-off with Bardison, hooks him right down right there. And it's a good penalty to take by Bardison because Reuter was in alone. You might as well try and kill a penalty 5 against 4 than give someone a breakaway.
It's a 3-3 game, and Bergloff on the wing setting it up to Tuzino. Tuzino working the corner. Back to Bergloff. Bergloff with 20 points in the year, just inside the blue line. A man advantage situation, 1:44 remaining in the penalty time. Back out on top, moving around Wanandi with a shot. And the save is made, and it's cleared up ice. Almost a breakaway as Dewey Wallen was moving up the far wing.
That's one thing Kennedy's got to watch out for when they're in the power play, not to relax. When they turn the puck over right there, they just seem to hesitate momentarily. Howell tried to have that puck fed up ahead to Wallen to put him on a breakaway, and Kennedy was slow reacting. Fortunately for them, when Andy was able to glove that puck down, but they've got to react defensively when you turn the puck over, even if you are at a man advantage.
8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the second period. 1:25 remaining in the penalty time. Bergloff on the lead pass to Miller, moving up ice. Miller in over the blue line. He's got Reuter in the slot. Miller in the corner with the puck, and it was cleared from his stick. And angled, but Bergloff held it in at the point to Tuzino. Tuzino flipping it to Reuter. Reuter working the wing on the far side, back over to Wanandi. Wanandi leaving it go past Miller, back over to Reuter. To Miller. Miller back to Reuter with a shot. Knocked down right out in front and cleared behind the net. And it went up over the glass and out of play.
Miller's got the good shot on the forward line on that power play, but you also have to be very aware if you're the Gubbies of Dan Tuzino, who just lurks around the net. He stays far away from the net. The moment it looks like the puck's going to go to the net, he comes in, he just darts in for the crease area, hoping to pick up a rebound. He's very quick. He's got the quick hands. If anything's lying around there, you know he's going to swat it in the net.
53 seconds remaining here on the power play situation. And it goes to Barrett. Barrett working the near boards. trying to get it out of the zone. Gets the pass to Howe, who flips it ahead. And again, they had a man lagging back. That was Wallen. It's picked up by Howe. Howe ahead to Wallen. Here's Wallen stick handle with a puck, and Bertloff took it away. Bertloff into the line to Tuzino. Tuzino in the corner, and buried it Tuzino, and Reuter behind the net. And Reuter on the wing trying to free it. Held in by Miller to the point to Winandy, but he couldn't handle it at the zone. At the far side of it, he has to go all the way back to set it up. There you see the time remaining and working it up ice. Here's Bergloff. Bergloff to Miller. Miller with the puck. His drive, and he fired it off the plexiglass. And boy, did he rifle that shot at the net. Bergloff at the right point tried to hold the attacking zone, but Bartison is back out of the penalty box, and both teams at full strength. Howe to the blue line and check. As he tried to move it in, Winandy took it away. Winandy and Howe. That is Howe wearing number 10, circling at center ice. And he moves it back in behind as it was knocked down there by Wilson. And now in the breakout, here's Tuzino. Tuzino at 5'8", moving it ahead, trying to give the lead pass to Reuter. And it was played in on Dembowski. Steered around to the far side. Wallen on the lead to Leibel, who left it go. The near wing, get over the line. Orlando to Leibel, and the passing combination don't work. Now we'll go back the other way. This is Keister to the blue line. He lost control of the puck, and a penalty is going to be called as Wilson started out for Bloomington Kennedy. And there's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
The service and expertise that defines Merrill Lynch is the same professionalism that makes Merrill Lynch Realty the Merrill Lynch of realtors.
You see Keister breaking down the left wing with a lot of speed. Wallen chopping at him. Actually knocked a stick out of his hand, but then he followed through with his stick and tripped him. So Wallen's going to go to the penalty box. Now Kennedy for their second successive power play. Neither team very effective tonight on the power play, not only because they haven't scored, but because they haven't been creating any real good scoring opportunities.
That is Bergloff stick handling with the puck. Bergloff now looking for the outlet on the pass, goes cross ice. Winandy to the blue line, Tuzino rink wide. 5:49 remaining, driven in by Miller. Around the boards, Tuzino on the wing with Larson. Larson trying to pin it and free it then from the boards. And pinning it there, Tuzino trying to clear it. And Larson. Also there is Miller. Back to the point to Winandy. Winandy working the far wing. It goes to Reuter. Reuter with the puck back over to Miller to the point. On the pass to Winandy. As we still have 1:20 remaining. There's the drive, and it was wide by Miller. And it comes all the way out of the zone, so the Eagles back it out to center ice to set it up again. Bergloff, and we show now 1:09 remaining in the penalty time. In a 3-3 hockey game. The winner of this plays Edina for the championship. Reuter chasing it in the corner. Larson trying to get some help to clear it. Whistle and play will be stopped at the blue line.
Well, Winandy trying to come up to keep that puck in, but he was just a foot outside the blue line when he knocked it back in. Offside on the play, and this is going to give the Gubbies a chance to change their defensive people. They were running around in their own zone, killing off that penalty, but it does get a little wearing on them. So the Gubbies come out with 4 new people and kill off the remaining 57 seconds of the penalty.
Bloomington Kennedy took a 3-0 lead, and St. Paul Johnson is countered with 3 of their own, and that's where we stand with 4:57 remaining in the second period. 50 seconds remaining on the penalty time here. The man advantage is the Governors are a man short. Olander with his shot, and that's just wide. Tuzino now will drop it back to Bergloff to set it up to come out of the zone. Yeah, to Bergloff. 6'2", 180-pound senior. Olander, one of the forecheckers. And the other was Harvey. And it's played back in the Kennedy Eagle zone.
All those good passes mean everything when you're trying to set up a power play. You don't even get an opportunity unless you're able to connect with a good pass, and right there is another bad one.
And it's knocked down at center ice. Tuzino trying to come up with a puck. And it's played away and over the blue line as Berthiaume tried to lead Olander, but they have effectively killed a penalty here. And back at full strength now. Both teams in over the line. Tuzino, whistle and play will be stopped at the blue line.
Well, in high school hockey, there is no red line, so you're able to leave your forwards all the way to far blue line, and you can even try the long pass. But when things aren't working, you might as well come back deep, regroup, come up with some speed, make some short passes, especially when you're not getting a strong forecheck by the opposition that is killing the penalty. You can come down the ice, come with some speed, and gain control of the zone. Something that neither team has done very effectively here tonight on their power play opportunities.
Both teams at equal strength. And going back over to set it up now. On the near side, Bardison off on the pass. And we have Converse with the puck. Working the wing with Help, trying to bring it out. Held in, a shot is fired wide by Keister. Down to the corner in the pass. Youngworth tried to move it in the slot. They got a man there. That is Lehman. They can't get him the puck. Lehman working behind the net with Keister and Youngworth. And trying to clear it is Bardison. Knocked down here as Kennedy with pressure. Larson behind his own net. Whistle and play will be stopped. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
In Viking Land, performance like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this can only be found in one place. Your Viking Land Dodge dealer.
3:24 remaining here in the second period in a 3-3 game. To the point to Bergloff, and his drive is deflected. Keister chasing it down to the corner. Keister is tied up along the near wing as he took a check. And moving it up ice now, controlling it is Berthium, driving it in the zone. And the pass came right out in front. Berthium centering pass came across the crease, and it was cleared by Youngworth all the way back. And striding back is Gaylor to pick it up. Lehman chases him behind the net. Angled on the near wing now. We have a 3-3 game as Enos tries to set it up in the neutral zone. And Schoenecker broke it up there. And 2:48 remaining as the Governors go back to regroup. Bergloff at the point will hold his zone. Tried to move it right out in front. And it was cleared by Berthium. Moved up ice now. And to the blue line of Kennedy. Chased. And it goes in on Wilson. And he made the save. Lou, a moment ago you mentioned no red line. Is there any changes you would like to see in the high school game?
Well, the high school game is a very quick game. It really helps them with no red line because it speeds up the game. They're not getting icing calls. If anything, I just would like to see the icing rule change the way it is in pro. So if someone gives a great effort and is able to beat another player to the puck, icing's waved off. And that time in high school hockey, you're really not repaid for having someone hustling down to kill off an icing.
When Andy on the near side, 2 minutes 27 seconds remaining, as trying to clear the zone with it is Bentfer out over to center ice. And Bentfer cross ice when Andy out over to Beersdorf. Beersdorf lost control of the puck, trying to move it in as Shermack, but it was cleared. Good job by the Kennedy Eagle defenseman now. And trying to clear it out of the zone is when Andy did one-arm it out over to center ice, intercepted by Larson. Larson trying to get some help to get something set up now. Coming in over the line. Boxmeyer and Larson. That is Larson right out in front, and it's knocked down. And a shot by Boxmeyer is deflected by Wilson. Centered again in the slot. Boxmeyer with a shot. And it's deflected wide. Another man in the slot, and it went through the skates of Wallach.
Well, Shermack, Boxmeyer, and Converse all around that net having some opportunities. Boxmeyer had 3 shots. He just couldn't put it away. Wallach, Boxmeyer, and Shermack really putting on some pressure. Wilson coming up with some fine saves, and at the same time, a couple shots missed the net, keeping his game tied at 3. Johnson starting to put more offensive pressure on right here. As you see, Wallach, he tries to center it right there to Shermack. Comes to Boxmeyer, he misses one, he gets another shot at it. Another one to save, and it goes right by Wallach's stick. Find the ice down the ice to have a face-off coming to Wilson's right.
1:39 remaining here in the second period. And it's a 3-3 game. And it goes up over the glass and out of play.
On this face-off, the Gubbies have Wallen set right up behind Olander in a good shooting area. Should he win that draw, Wallen shoots that puck extremely well. As we said, Miller's a big gunner on Kennedy team, while Wallen's a big shooter on this Gubby team. He can really let it fly.
And we have a 3-3 game, and the puck is loose along the near boards, coming over trying to pick it up. And with it is Reuter. Reuter at center ice, lost it to Olander. As now the Governors set it up, playing it in over the line. It went through the skates of Schonecker. And it's set up now right out in front. And trying to move it toward the slot was Berthiaume, but it was cleared by Reuter. And it's played past the stick of Gaylor as he skates down to the corner, and Miller there as well. And coming over to pick it up is Wallen. As now Kennedy trying to hold the zone, but it's played. Moving up ice, the Governors come in. They got a man moving into the slot. Leibel with a backhander. And the cage was knocked out of position, Lou.
Well, a good try. Berthiaume centered a long pass up to Wallen. Wallen coming down 2-on-1. Try to get it to Leibel. It was deflected off Bergloff, slowing it down just enough. Leibel maintains his balance. Watch 21 maintain his balance as the puck's deflected right here. Reach back and get a shot up and over Wilson as Bergloff just deflected it enough so Leibel couldn't have a clear shot at it. And at the same time, the puck went over the glass and the net was knocked off its moorings. So a good opportunity for Johnson. But just thwarted right there. This game's still tied at 3.
And we'll have the face-off coming up, and the draw is picked up by Keister. And he slides it up the far wing, and going back is Bartison in the corner. Youngworth is there trying to hold the zone. It is Bergloff with the shot, but Larson cleared it to the near wing. Bergloff trying to pick it up, chased down in the corner by Larson. Larson lost it on the near wing as it's set up now with 32 seconds remaining. Bergloff with it, pushed it at the net. Oh, it was deflected right in on Dembowski, and he made the save.
Bergloff just putting that shot on net, hit Larson, deflected towards the goal, and handcuffed Dembowski because he was moving to his right, and the shot came back left.
15 seconds remaining in the second period, and Howe had it put check from his stick. And coming back over, Howe trying to pick up the lead pass, and this is Lehman one-on-one. Lehman the drop pass to Youngsworth, but it's played back the other way, and Howe comes it over the blue line. His wrist shot at the buzzer is right into the glove of the goaltender Wilson. So at the end, Lou, of 2 periods of play, we got a good one going here, tied at 3 apiece.
We certainly do. You can't ever count the Gubbies out. They showed why with that explosiveness, coming back to tie at 3.
And let's go down now to Sports Control with Ralph John Fritz and Mark Rosen.
Okay,
thanks, man.
Thank you very much, Paul and Louie. I'll tell you what, Johnson, when their kamikaze-style offense, whatever emotion they lacked in that first period, they picked up in bunches in that second period. They are a fun group to watch. Magnuson says, it's no fun to check your wings all day. Let's go out and have some fun.
They do. They certainly gamble an awful lot. And after that win over Hill Murray last night, the emotion should drop down a little bit. But I don't know how many more games they can play like this.
They have at least one more to go.
Okay, let's go down to the ice. Tom Hanneman. Come on in, Tom.
Well, I'm down ice level with the Rod Magnuson fan club, the president and charter members, Rod's family. Let's introduce, first of all, the family.
I'm Beth Magnuson. Kristen Stenchen. Lori Magnuson.
I'm Dan Magnuson. And, of course, the president right here, Rod's wife, Jean.
I'm Jean.
How nerve-wracking is it watching a game like this with your husband on the other side of the ice?
Very much, very nerve-wracking, especially when they are down a couple goals, but it's tied now, so it's a little better.
What type of a coach is Rod at home? Does he bring this game home at all? Did he sleep well last night? What was his mood yesterday?
Well, he's pretty easygoing, pretty low-key, and after he got to sleep, he slept. Didn't sleep till about 4 o'clock, but after that, he was fine.
What's the hardest thing about being Rod Magnuson's wife in terms of being a coach's wife?
Oh, I don't know. Probably just leaving him alone when he's, you know, when the game has been a hard one, and just quiet time, you know.
All right, Gene, thank you so much for your time. Back to Sports Control.
Okay, thanks, Tom and the Magnusons. I have an interesting story I'd like to tell about the Magnusons. I'll hold that for a little later. We're going to hurry right now.
This is Hockey 84, continuing coverage of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
At the St. Paul Civic Center, Ralph John Fritz with Mark Rosen. We are tied at 3. Johnson and Kennedy, and of course that's after 2 periods. The winner goes on to take on Edina, Mark.
We talked about the importance of Dewey Wallen's goal right at the end of the first period. Johnson came out storming in the second period. That's Jim Howe, one of the big stars of this state tournament, number 10. The senior using his backhand very effectively here, beating Bruce Wilson. That made it 3-2, and Ralph, just 18 seconds later, Johnson was on the scoreboard again.
Right, you know, we hear so much about Dewey Wallen with the 50-plus goals. Jim Howe at 35. And here's the one that tied it just 18 seconds later, as you said, made it 3-3. Right in front, Mitch Converse, number 19, just a sophomore. Big goal for Johnson and Converse there to tie the score at 3-all. And you might keep in mind, too, that Johnson played this entire period or not the entire period, but 4 minutes of the period while shorthanded, still tied the score at 3-all.
Kennedy's power play is now 0 for 4 in this tournament. Mitch Converse, a third-line center. They were not satisfied here at this point. They kept coming on stronger and stronger as the period progressed. Rod Magnuson had told us before this tournament began that it doesn't bother us, as I mentioned, if we fall 2 or 3 goals behind, because we feel we have the offensive punch to stay with anyone in the state.
It was difficult to believe. Kennedy did escape all that Johnson pressure at the end. We saw an interesting graphic earlier. 8.2 goals per game, the average scored by Johnson. They have firepower.
Hibbing was ranked #1 at the end of the season. We should mention that St. Paul Johnson was ranked #1 for about 7 weeks this year. So they are among the best teams in the state, and they're proving it again tonight, but it should go right down the wire.
You can see why they were rated #1. This is continuing coverage of the 1984 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Well, the first period belonged to Bloomington Kennedy. The second period belonged to St. Paul Johnson. And guys, what do you think? We got the big one coming up now in the third period.
Well, Johnson seems to be getting stronger. Kennedy was getting flustered near the end of that period. If Johnson continues to put